This is TechCrunch. Well, the AI-powered app-building platform Lovable has backed Danish hardware startup Atech, which wants to introduce vibe coding to the process of creating hardware. Lovable was part of an $800,000 pre-seed round that also included Andreessen Horowitz's Scout Fund, Sequoia Scout Fund, and Nordic Makers. In a chat with TechCrunch, Atech's head of customer experience, Gustav Hugad, said the platform's workings are quite simple. Users buy a starter hardware kit for whatever they are trying to build from Atech's site. Then they open a tab at the site, talk to an AI chatbot, describe the hardware concept they're trying to build, and the AI tool generates code that helps them build a working prototype. He said that the company's user base is pretty broad right now, from 4-year-olds building cars to a hydrogen synthesis plant that needs precise voltage sensing. Typically, building any type of hardware prototype requires decades of experience or finding pricey but talented engineers. But Hugad said that as the accessibility gap of software has collapsed, so will the difficulty of building in the hardware space. He said that hardware in a democratized world has to be available to everyone. The new capital will be used for research and development, marketing, and hiring. Meridian Ventures was born out of a shared experience, deferred MBAs. Now, founders Devon, Gethers, and Karlton Haney have raised a $35 million fund to back pre-seed and seed stage companies started by people like them. The 29-year-old Gethers told TechCrunch that the idea for a firm arose after he met Haney in Harvard's MBA deferred admission program back in 2020. Gethers grew up in poverty at Washington State, studied behavioral science and finance at the University of Utah, then moved into private equity before launching a company of his own, which he later exited. Haney, meanwhile, grew up on a farm in Arkansas, raising chickens, birds, and anything that flew. The 28-year-old Haney went on to study industrial engineering at the University of Arkansas and worked as an investor at the family office, the Stevens Group. The pair came together in 2023 with the idea of launching a firm that backed people who had also deferred MBAs. Gethers said, "Our thesis is going against a bit of the grain, the rhetoric you hear in Silicon Valley that MBAs do not make good founders," referring to the belief that an MBA prepares students for corporate culture, not the flexible, freewheeling world of Silicon Valley. Now, to prove their thesis, Gethers and Haney went out and cold-called prospective limited partners and knocked on doors until they raised $2.5 million as a proof-of-concept fund to back 45 companies. The two headed off to Harvard Business School in the summer of 2023, and about a year into it, decided to try and raise their first institutional fund. The funding environment was tough, but the pair ended up raising an oversubscribed $35 million fund from LPs, including publicly traded banks, family offices, and Fortune 500 executives. They graduated from Harvard Business School in 2025. Now, this new fund will back founders building enterprise technology in the U.S. Meridian is agnostic, Gethers said, noting that the firm has already invested in companies in fintech, logistics, healthcare, and, of course, AI. The average check size will be about $500,000 for pre-seed and $750,000 for seed, and the capital hopes to be deployed over the next 3 years. Gethers said that, we saw an expanding gap between ambitious founders building frontier technologies and the capital required to help carry those ambitions forward. With this $35 million fund, our goal is to seal that gap. That's all for now. For the latest tech news, go to TechCrunch.com.